warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. From Europe to Southeast Asia, India's diplomacy is expanding with renewed energy and strategic purpose. President Droupadi Murmu's landmark three-nation tour of Moldova, North Macedonia and Romania, along with External Affairs Minister Jaishankar's engagement with ASEAN and Quad partners in Manila, reflects New Delhi's growing role as a trusted global partner. Here's a report on how India's recent diplomatic engagements are opening new avenues for cooperation across regions. As the global geopolitical landscape continues to evolve, India is deepening its engagement with partners across continents through proactive diplomacy. Guided by the vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, One Earth, One Family, One Future, New Delhi is strengthening political, economic and strategic partnerships while expanding its global footprint. In this direction, President Droupadi Murmu concluded a landmark three-nation visit to Moldova, North Macedonia and Romania, reinforcing India's outreach to Southeast and Eastern Europe. The visit underscored India's commitment to building trusted partnerships based on shared growth and mutual prosperity. The tour began in Moldova, where President Murmu became the first Indian president to visit the country. She held talks with President Maya Sandu and other leaders to enhance cooperation in trade, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, information technology, innovation and education. She also addressed the India-Moldova Business Forum, met the India-Moldova Parliamentary Friendship Group and interacted with the Indian diaspora, strengthening both economic and people-to-people ties.
India today is among the fastest growing major economies, driven by entrepreneurship, digital transformation, manufacturing excellence and a young, skilled workforce. At the same time, Moldova has a reform-oriented outlook, strategic location, talented human capital and growing integration with European markets, which makes it an important destination for Indian businesses.
In a world of tariff uncertainty, producing inside the European economic space is the best insurance policy, and Moldova is one of the most agile doors into that space. The India-EU Free Trade Agreement brings together markets of around 2 billion people. Moldova's European path places us directly within this new economic geography. Together with President Murmu, we have set the goal to increase our bilateral trade over the next few years. This forum is an important step in that direction. The sectors represented in this room match Moldova's priorities closely.
The next stop was North Macedonia, marking the first ever visit by an Indian head of state. President Droupadi Murmu held talks with President Gordana Siljanovska-Dovoka and other senior leaders to deepen cooperation in agriculture, pharmaceuticals, science and technology, and digital innovation.
These are the three global initiatives that India has taken: International Solar Alliance, International Biofuel Alliance, and also the CDRI. Each has a focus area. And what we are looking at is, with the partners countries, with our member countries, we are working towards developing technology and also technology transfer, capacity building.
In Romania, President Murmu's visit marked the first by an Indian president in over 3 decades. Her meetings with Romanian leaders focused on expanding cooperation in trade, investment, technology, innovation and education. She also interacted with business leaders and the Indian diaspora, reinforcing India's growing engagement with the region. Extending India's diplomatic outreach, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar held high-level meetings in Manila with Quad partners in ASEAN member states. His discussions focused on trade, digital innovation, connectivity and a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific, reaffirming India's commitment to its Act East policy.
The India-ASEAN agenda today covers trade and investment, mobility and talent, tech, digital and AI, green and sustainability, as well as connectivity. It is only through deeper cooperation that we can de-risk and diversify. India and ASEAN have traditionally worked for the welfare of the larger region. For India, ASEAN centrality is a key principle. One example of the manner of that working is the way in which the ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific meshes with India's Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative. There are many other domains and examples reflected in activities, numbers, and policies.
From Europe to Southeast Asia, India's recent diplomatic engagements reflect a confident and forward-looking foreign policy. By expanding strategic partnerships, strengthening economic cooperation, and deepening people-to-people ties, New Delhi is reinforcing its role as a trusted partner in an increasingly interconnected world. Driven by initiatives like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, India's defence sector is witnessing a remarkable transformation. A nation once reliant on imports for advanced military technology is now empowering young innovators and startups to build cutting-edge solutions at home. From smart laser systems and AI-powered navigation to secure communication technologies, India is rapidly emerging as a hub of indigenous defence innovation and self-reliance. India's defence sector is no longer just a buyer of military equipment. It is emerging as a hub of high-tech innovation. Driven by initiatives like Make in India and Self-Reliant India, the country's defence production has reached a record level of nearly 18.4 billion USD, while defence exports have crossed 4.5 billion USD. With growing private sector partnership and a thriving startup ecosystem, indigenous technologies are reshaping the future of defence. Bangalore-based Cubitronics Solutions is a prime example, developing a smart laser rangefinder that not only measures targets but also provides real-time location and GPS coordinates, all connected through a mobile interface.
हमारा डिवाइस मोबाइल के थ्रू कनेक्ट हो जाता है, जैसे कि आप देख रहे हैं, हमने इसको कनेक्ट कर दिया है और ये मोबाइल के थ्रू हमारा डिवाइस इंटरनेट के थ्रू कनेक्ट हो जाएगा. हम यहाँ से कमांड सेंड कर सकते हैं और पूरा डेटा मॉनिटरिंग, स्टेटस मॉनिटरिंग हम मोबाइल पे ले सकते हैं.
The system features a built-in compass and navigation capabilities, helping soldiers track locations and navigate in challenging environments while reducing dependence on foreign technologies and strengthening India's indigenous defence capabilities.
So this technology will make India as a self-reliant and no other country, like we will not be depending on any other country for the technology and for any of the warfare equipments. So this will be making us a self-reliant and self-sufficient for all the needs.
This indigenous technology has also drawn interest from the Defence Research and Development Organisation DRDO and Indian Optal Limited, Dehradun. Encouraged by this recognition, the young innovators are now working towards developing more advanced and powerful defence systems.
यहाँ पे हम जो इलेक्ट्रो ऑप्टिक्स में काम कर रहे हैं, इसका जो एप्लीकेशन है वो डिफेंस के अंदर और इंडस्ट्री में और स्मार्ट सिटी और कहीं अन्य फील्ड्स में है. अभी क्योंकि भारत सरकार इस टाइम पे पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप पे बहुत जोर दे रही है.
Meanwhile, next generation technologies are transforming the future of secure military communication. Bangalore-based deep tech startup Cosmic is developing India's indigenous optical space communication infrastructure, a laser-based technology designed to transmit data faster and more securely than traditional radio systems. It aims to address the challenge of transferring massive satellite data in real time.
फास्ट स्टीयरिंग मिरर एक ऐसा टाइप का मिरर है जो हमें एबिलिटी देता है कि हम लाइट को सबसे ज़्यादा लेवल तक हम कंट्रोल कर पाएँ इन टर्म्स ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन। और इसका एंगल हम आपके बाल से भी छोटे लेवल तक हम इसकी एंगल और इसकी रिफ्लेक्शन कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं।
The biggest advantage of this technology is enhanced security. With ultra-narrow laser beams that are difficult to intercept or jam, it could pave the way for faster, safer and next-generation communication networks for the armed forces.
हम जो नॉर्मली लोड करते हैं या रीड करते हैं वो हम डिग्री में करते हैं। 1 डिग्री से भी छोटा अगर हम रेजोल्यूशन पे इसको पॉइंट करना चाहते हैं तो हम इस तकनीक का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। इससे हम लेज़र पॉइंटिंग का इस्तेमाल बहुत अच्छे से कर सकते हैं। ये हमारी सेनाओं के लिए पॉइंटिंग, शूटिंग एंड ट्रैकिंग तीनों में यूज़ हो सकता है।
At the same time, startups are revolutionizing drone and robotics technology with high-precision navigation systems. Bangalore-based Yanendriya is developing AI-powered sensors and flight control systems that enable drones to navigate with greater stability and accuracy, opening new possibilities in defense, smart agriculture, industrial automation and surveillance.
We have been able to cater to that, and we look forward serving the country better by enhancing these platforms much to an extent so that it can be deployed from unmanned rovers inside the underwater systems to the space satellite systems. Building that navigation stack is our goal, and we look forward building that.
From smart sensors and laser communication to AI-powered navigation systems, India's young innovators are not just building cutting-edge technologies, they are driving the nation's journey towards defense self-reliance. This new wave of defense startups is shaping a stronger, smarter and future-ready India. And now it's time for Asia This Week, bringing you the top stories shaping the continent.
Filipino activists clashed with anti-riot police while protesting the visit of US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who was in Manila for meetings between ASEAN foreign ministers and the bloc's dialogue partners. Activists were prevented from approaching the venue where the meetings were being held. The protesters called on the United States to end its involvement in regional conflicts and accused Washington of fueling tensions in the Asia-Pacific region. Yamaha Motor secured second place at the 2026 motorbike race held at the Suzuka circuit in Japan. The prestigious event challenges riders to race continuously for 8 hours, covering approximately 1200 kilometers. It is regarded as one of the world's premier endurance motorcycle races and feature many of the world's top riders. Yamaha Motor fielded 2 teams in this year's race. The Yamaha factory racing team included MotoGP riders, marking the event a valuable opportunity to gather engineering feedback and further develop its motorcycles with input from world-class champions. To support and cheer on its teams, Yamaha Motor dispatched 560 employees to the event, including more than 260 newly recruited employees. Yamaha Motor's relentless challenge earned it the runner-up title at the 2026 Endurance Motorbike Race. The experience inspired employees and will help drive Yamaha Motor's future innovation. Russian President Vladimir Putin held talks with North Korean Foreign Minister and conveyed his regards to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and expressed gratitude to the country's leadership and people for their support in the Ukraine conflict. Moscow and Pyongyang have grown closer in recent years through military cooperation linked to Russia's war in Ukraine, drawing scrutiny from the United States and South Korea.
Moving on. Flash floods have wreaked havoc in northeastern Afghanistan, leaving a trail of destruction in the mountainous province of Nuristan. Torrential rains triggered sudden flooding that swept away homes, hotels and infrastructure, killing at least 20 people, while more than 100 remain missing. Authorities fear the death toll could rise significantly as rescue efforts continue in difficult terrain. The disaster once again highlights Afghanistan's growing vulnerability to extreme weather events worsened by climate change, deforestation and fragile infrastructure.
Afghanistan remains one of the world's most disaster-prone countries, facing frequent floods, landslides, and extreme weather events that continue to claim lives and damage communities. The latest tragedy unfolded in the northeastern province of Nuristan, where torrential rains triggered a devastating flash flood. The flood struck Parun, the provincial capital, causing widespread destruction. According to the Taliban's National Disaster Management Authority, at least 20 people have been confirmed dead, around 80 were injured, and more than 100 remain missing. Authorities feared the death toll could rise as search and rescue operations continue in the affected areas. The powerful floodwaters swept away homes, hotels, roads, and other infrastructure, leaving hundreds of families stranded. The rugged, mountainous terrain of Nuristan has further complicated rescue efforts, with emergency teams racing against time to locate survivors.
دا چې 13 ورځ په دغه پارون ښار باندې دغه یو سیلاب راغی او دغه سیلاب له امله تقریبا تر 9 پورې هوټلونه او همدغه شانه نور ډېر زیات زیان یې اړولی چې تاسې خپله ګورئ د دغې زیان له امله تقریبا تر 100 زیات هیوادوال چې دي هغه تلف شوي دي.
The disaster unfolded within minutes, giving residents little time to react as streets were inundated and people rushed to escape. Several commercial establishments suffered extensive damage, while the rescue teams and local volunteers have been working tirelessly to search for survivors and assist those stranded by the floods.
تقریبا 3 بجې په 2:30 بجې وي او دا شانې څه سیلاب راغلی په سیلاب داسې موږ په دوکان کې ناست وو خو دا وطن ټول یو ځل نه خوځېده خو نن باره په زلزله ده زلزله نه وه ناڅاپه بس دا شانې سیلاب راورسېد او مخلوق یې بس خلک خندان کړه او خلک بس هر سړي ځان خلاصوو.
The country has witnessed repeated climate-related disasters in recent years. In 2024, spring flash floods claimed more than 300 lives, while earlier this year, widespread flooding and landslides killed at least 110 people across several provinces. Years of conflict, weak infrastructure, economic hardship, and the widespread use of mud-built homes have further increased the vulnerability of communities, particularly in remote, mountainous regions where access for rescue and relief remains difficult.
Every year, the coastal town of Puri transforms into the spiritual heart of India as millions gather for the Grand Rath Yatra. More than a religious festival, it is a celebration of faith, tradition, craftsmanship and community. In 2026, the centuries-old festival once again witnessed Lord Jagannath, Lord Balbhadra and Goddess Subhadra embark on their sacred journey, drawing devotees from across the globe. Here's our special report from Odisha. As the sound of conch shells echoed through Puri and chants of Jai Jagannath filled the air, 3 majestic wooden chariots rolled onto the grand road. Thousands of hands pulled the sacred ropes, united by devotion and hope. Unlike most temples where devotees visit the deity, Rath Yatra is unique because Lord Jagannath himself comes out to meet the people. The annual journey from the Jagannath temple to the Gundicha temple represents accessibility, equality and compassion. Months before the festival begins, skilled artisans start building the chariots from specially selected wood. Every year, new chariots are constructed following centuries-old measurements and traditions preserved through generations. Each chariot has its own identity, color and design, reflecting Odisha's rich artistic heritage and remarkable craftsmanship.
हर कोई वेट कर रहा है उनका एक झलक देखने के लिए और ये मतलब
कह सकते हैं कि इतनी ज़ोरदार बारिश के बावजूद हर कोई टिका हुआ है अपने जगह पे, कोई हिलना नहीं चाह रहा है। तो उनकी महिमा ही अलग है। साल में एक बार हर कोई देखने के लिए बेचैन रहता है कि एक बार जस्ट उनकी झलक दिख जाए इस रथ पे बैठे हुए जगन्नाथ जी।
I'm excited about it. That's why I came here. I wanted to see this whole procession coming down the road and people excited about it, and just the excitement of it.
While the vibrant procession captures global attention, Rath Yatra also reflects the values of service and community participation. Thousands of volunteers, police personnel, medical teams, sanitation workers and local residents work together to ensure the smooth conduct of one of the world's largest religious gatherings. It is a remarkable example of how faith and civic coordination come together on an extraordinary scale. As the chariots slowly move through Puri's historic Grand Road, they carry centuries of tradition, timeless devotion and the hopes of millions. Rath Yatra is not simply a procession, it is a living heritage that continues to inspire people across cultures and continents.
ये हम सनातनों के लिए अद्भुत क्षण है और अद्भुत इसका तो शब्दों में वर्णन नहीं हो सकता है। प्रभु का साक्षात दर्शन और इतना लोगों का समागम, अद्भुत दृश्य, सनातनियों का बहुत बड़ा ये त्यौहार है, पर्व है। सत्य सनातन की जय हो, ये धर्म की जय हो और भगवान जगन्नाथ सब पर कृपा करें, सबका मंगल हो।
Jagannath gives so much kripa in Rath Yatra that everyone want to get this kripa. That's why millions of people, of Indian people, come in and participate in Rath Yatra.
While the grand celebration in Puri remains the heart of the festival, the spirit of Rath Yatra extends across India. Across the country, cities and towns organize their own Rath Yatra processions, bringing together thousands of devotees in a shared celebration of faith and devotion. From large temple processions to community-led celebrations, the festival reflects a shared tradition that connects people across regions, languages and cultures, making Rath Yatra a truly pan-India celebration of faith and devotion. From Puri, the journey of faith continues to inspire the world. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.